All right, Nick, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. I think coming into this offseason, rather, we knew Green Bay was going to be very good for a few years to come because of how young the nucleus of this team was last year and a couple years before that. They did a great job drafting a lot of young players, developing a young quarterback in Jordan Love, and just getting this team to the next level with this young core of players. Now we come to this 2024 draft and we see, are they able to repeat this success? Can they get things going, especially on the defensive side of the ball? Because I'll be honest, they've had more hits on offense lately than they have on defense. But it seems the latest pick from this 2024 draft, the second rounder, has been a hit on the defensive side of the ball. Let's get into this article and we can talk more about it on the other side. This, of course, is from over on NBC Sports. Says Edgerrin Cooper was one of the best defensive players in college football last season. His final season at Texas A&M, the Packers may have gotten a steal with the 45th overall pick. Packers coach Matt LaFleur said during minicamp that he called a play designed to fool Cooper, but the All-American didn't bite. That I thought for sure we were going to get him on it. He did a heck of a job, LaFleur said via Mike Spofford of the team website. I was kind of teasing the other coaches, did you preview him for that play? And they did not. So that's a credit to him and just how engaged he's been, how locked in he's been throughout the course of the offseason. Nick, I think it goes without saying this is extremely impressive. Matt LaFleur, a very good offensive coach. So for Edgerrin Cooper to be able to, be at this level already and impressing coaches and not biting on things designed specifically to trick him, I think that's really great news for the Packers. I'm curious what your thoughts on this one are. But before we get to you, Packers fans, in the comment section below, we're talking about potentially a great young linebacker for this Packers team. But I want to know, are there some other great linebackers in Packers history that you want to let us know about in the comment section below? I know two that come to mind very early, but let us know who are your favorite Packers linebackers of all time in the comment section below. And while you're there, check out the description below the video to see our suggested list of NFL reading. There's some great books you could pick up for this summer, whether you're hitting the beach, going on vacation. Some good books on the game of football, whether it's coaches or whether it's breaking down the game. Check those out in the description below the video. But Nick, what are your thoughts on Cooper?
It's interesting when you look at the Packers, they've got a really deep roster at virtually every position group. You look at their front four, it's very deep, talented with both young and veteran players. You look at their secondary, especially with the addition of McKinney, it's a very good safety, or at least a much better safety room now. Cornerbacks are obviously very good. Offensive line is young, but getting better and better. Running back room is obviously, you'll lose one guy, pick up another guy in Jacob. So you've got a lot of good talent there. Of course, the receiver room is stacked. Jordan Love's outstanding, right? This is a deep, talented roster. The one question was linebacker. Quay Walker's a solid young player in his own right. But if you look at their other linebacker, the guy who's slated to be their second guy, you're looking at a guy, Isaiah McDuffie, right? And we know that obviously they're a base 4-3 team, but realistically in today's NFL, base 4-3 means base 4-2 in terms of having a nickel of 50 be on the field. So the majority of the time you're playing two linebackers if you're going to be the Green Bay Packers going forward. And if you look at what Isaiah McDuffie brought to the fold last season, if you look at his PFF grades, he graded out overall at a 58.4 with a 57.9 run defense grade and a 59.0 pass defense grade, coverage grade. That's not going to get it done if you're trying to win championships. And we know the Packers are obviously in their championship window, clearly a position of need. You bring in Edgerrin Cooper, first team All-American out of Texas A&M, every physical tool you could want, big, strong, fast, productive. The one question mark involving Cooper is, could he adjust quickly mentally to the NFL game? That's a huge thing to do as a linebacker. You have a lot of influence schemes thrown at you, trying to get you running one way. The offense goes the other way. LaFleur is obviously a genius at those kind of schemes. He literally fooled, I think, the entire state of Texas with what happened in the wild card game with this incredible offensive game plan. Gave the 49ers a run for their money as well. LaFleur is a certified offensive genius. I think we all know that at this point. And yet, despite that, Cooper was able to handle him during minicamp. To me, that's a great sign because Cooper checks every single box physically. He was super productive in college. The one and only question mark, and it's not just with Cooper, it's with everybody, specifically at the linebacker position, is can you handle the mental side of the game, reacting to what offenses do in terms of trying to confuse you? And it looks like Cooper can. And folks, that means you've got a special player in Edgerrin Cooper. Not only is he filling a position of need, I think he's just I think he was going to be a massive upgrade over Isaiah McDuffie anyway, to be totally honest. But the fact that he's so mentally ahead of the game, I don't think he's just an upgrade. I think there's a future star that has emerged here out of the second round.
Yeah, Nick, and I love what Green Bay did here with this selection because when you look at the draft and what players are valued as, I think in this game of football, when you're talking about offensive defense, outside of, the skill positions, I think defensive and offensive line are very highly valued. I think some of the more afterthought type of positions on offense would be running back and tight end, and on defense is linebacker and safety. And Packers did a great job of developing those position groups this offseason. Obviously, picking up McKinney is, like you brought up, a huge win to this safety room, elevated about 15-fold immediately. Now getting another guy like Edwin Cooper who can do anything you want him to do as far as the linebacker position goes. This guy is a physical specimen. It already seems like he's got the mental prowess to be a star for this team. I think that is the next key here. And when you pick up on guys like this early on, I think we've seen a lot of teams do this lately, a lot of smart teams drafting when they say, hey, let's get positions that are undervalued where we can get really high returns on our draft picks. We saw teams like the Ravens do it a few years ago with Kyle Hamilton at the safety position, a guy that kind of just fell in the rankings who was arguably a really good player. Cooper, arguably one of the best defensive players in the draft, fell to the second round, pick 45 to the Packers. And we're seeing right now what a heck of a pickup this guy was for him. And I think the Packers got a lot of value out of Cooper, and I think it's going to bring a lot of value to this defense.